Hi everyone, welcome to Unisense. We are all about fragrances. We do fragrance reviews, hauls, comparisons, collections, niche, designer, and Middle Eastern fragrances. Today I'll be reviewing an Arabian fragrance from Fragrance World, Queen of Hearts. If this sounds like something that would interest you, please consider subscribing and turning post notifications on. Let's get into it. Let's look at the bottle. I love the bottle. I think it's very unique. I love the colors and I love the cap actually. I really enjoy the cap. It's a really pretty cap. The box I don't have with me, but it did come with a pack of cards, which is obviously a gimmick, but it's quite a nice gimmick to have. But yeah, it's a cool packaging that it has. So I do have a tester strip with a dry down on it, so we can compare the dry down to the opening. The atomizer could be better. Let me also spray this on my skin. Now this fragrance is supposed to be a dupe of Guerlains, Petite, Robe, Noire, Rose, Rose, Rose. I have never smelled that fragrance. I've only ever smelled the original. So I'm not quite sure if it does smell similar. It does smell similar to the original. Not 100%, but it does smell similar to it. It just doesn't have the licorice note. But if you know what Rose, Rose, and Rose smells like, then please let me know in the comments below. I'd really be interested to find out. So let's take a look at the notes. I'm going to put the notes on the screen so you can see them, but let's quickly take a look at them. In the top notes, we have sour cherry, wild berries, almond, and bergamot. In the mid, we have Bulgarian rose, Turkish rose, grass rose, rose, and damask rose. And in the base, we have anise, tonka bean, vanilla, and iris. So we have a lot of rose going on in this fragrance. It is a rose-heavy fragrance. And you get that immediately, both on the skin and on the paper. In the air, you immediately pick up that sour cherry and the berries. And you pick it up on the skin and on the paper as well. That is the immediate hit that you get. You get the berries and the cherry immediately. The almond comes through quite quickly after the initial spray as well. And the almond is quite strong on my skin. It gives me a little bit of a bitterness. Not massively, but a little bit of bitterness. And the rose definitely comes through as well as a heavy rose, that almost like a jammy rose. I really enjoy it. Now let's look at the dry down. So in the dry down, I get a powderiness from the iris. It's subtle, but it's there. You can still smell the almond, and the rose is heavily there. By now, the rose is really taken over, and it is mainly rose. Personally, I don't really get the vanilla or the tonka. Maybe a little bit of sweetness from the vanilla, but nothing vanillic. But it is a lovely fragrance. It just takes, it changes over time. It's not a linear fragrance. For longevity, I get 4 to 5 hours, which is quite short on my skin, and I overspray quite a bit. So I'm a little bit disappointed by the longevity. But it is a fairly new fragrance to my collection, so I'm hoping with maceration that it lasts a little bit longer. Projection I also find is a little bit intimate. I don't get a massive amount of projection from this fragrance, so I'm hoping again with maceration that that improves. Season-wise, I would say that you could wear this year-round. Absolutely year-round. I think this is a sexy fragrance overall. It's quite versatile. Can definitely be worn for date nights. It's definitely a feminine fragrance. It's not masculine at all. I can imagine someone wearing a little black dress, going on a date, with a bit of a smoky eye, wearing this fragrance. I think it's quite a sexy fragrance that would go with quite a dark look. It just gives me like a dark vibe to the fragrance. I don't really know how to explain it other than that, but that's the kind of vibe I'm getting from the fragrance. This is definitely a rose heavy fragrance, so you really need to be into rose. If you're not a fan of rose fragrances, please test this before you buy it. Don't blind buy it. Um, if you are massively into roses, then this is a really good fragrance for you, but you need to be into a dark rose, dark jammy rose. And yeah, I just be careful if you're not into a rose scent because this is heavy, heavy rose. So we've made it to the end of this review. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. If you found this helpful, please click that like button. Also, let me know in the comments what your thoughts are on this fragrance. I'll see you soon. Bye!